Unmute. Everybody's unmuted. Hello, everybody, and welcome to MangaPod. We are a weekly podcast in which we all get together after we've read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. I am Erin of HappiLeeErin. With me are two of my three lovely co-hosts. Once again, Yokurama is still on hiatus with his family, but we have a super special guest that we're incredibly excited about, and we'll have her introduce herself in just a few minutes. Dodger, what's your
Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm Dodger. I'm currently drinking lemon lime Gatorade. I found out there are two Gatorades that look identical, but one is called lemon lime and the other is called lemonade. So be warned if ever you are a person who loves lemon lime Gatorade and doesn't want the lemonade flavor. Hello, everybody. I'm excited to be here for MangaPod.
What a PSA that was.
What's up, ladies and gents? My name's Luna. I'm from Setting by the Window Anime Reviews, and I don't know the difference between lemon lime and lemonade.
No. Wait,
Facts.
how do you
One
not
doesn't have
know?
the lime.
She just told you.
You need the lemon and the lime.
For lemon lime.
Get that multi-citrus palette stuff.
Got a kick in the mouth.
Yeah,
that.
that.
What's it, like tang?
To get that.
Like
tang.
It's a kick in the mouth.
Oh my god, I remember that.
Me too.
Oh my god. Erika, hello, welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me yet again. This time I'm a Digidestined. Look at
Dude, I've been seeing all of your
I
tweets about
transformed.
that. Yeah, it's so amazing.
I've Digivolved into a Digimon trainer. I don't even know.
Digimon trainer. Digimon.
Digimon trainer.
Digimon trainer. Digimon.
I don't even know.
Welcome to MangaPod. If you've never joined us for DigiMangaPod, if we read Digimon, that's what it's going to be called. Is there the Digimon MangaPod, right?
Is there?
Sure.
I don't know, there should be.
I'm gonna look it up now.
Okay, I'll do our spiel.
Okay.
If you've never joined us for a MangaPod before, what we like to do is give you a short spoiler-free description of the manga that we read / a summary. That will be given to us by the lovely Erika, and then after she reads that, we will give you our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should spend time going to read the manga or not. After that, we will dive into spoilers. We'll give you a countdown and a warning, so that way, if you do not want to be spoiled for the manga, you can take your leave then and go read it, and then come back and watch the VOD of this right here at my channel, youtube.com/HappiLeeErin. Until we get to the spoiler section, please in the chat and in the comments, no spoilers whatsoever. And then we'll give you the heads up about, hey, we can talk spoilers now, but only up to what we read. We read chapters 1 through 15 of Ao Haru Ride, which is super spoiler. It's really cute. So please, no spoilers after chapter 15 for the manga. So
do not spoil anything
please.
after what we read, because I had to restrain myself so hard.
I didn't restrain myself, but I understand the pain of trying to restrain yourself. You're much stronger than I am. I gave in. So, yes, please, no spoilers. We do not have timeouts here on this YouTube channel. We only have bans, meaning that you will get a warning, and then if you continue to spoil, you will be banned from the channel. So please don't do it. Erika?
Okay, do I start now?
Yeah, girl.
Wait,
Okay.
did Erika introduce herself? Like, full
Yeah, she's a
introduction?
Digimon trainer.
Digimon trainer.
Yeah, she's a Digidestined, Blue.
I'm sorry, I'm like,
God.
like super exhausted. I work 60 hours a week.
Oh. Okay.
Love you
All right. So, oh, so sad. Okay, let's go. Let's start. Okay.
Do it.
Futaba has. Okay. Futaba.
Futaba.
Football.
I just call her
Just
Fu.
like-
So I'll just call her Fu. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fu has a few reasons why she wants to reset her image in life as a new high school student. Because she's cute, she was ostracized by her female friends in junior high, and because of a misunderstanding, she couldn't get her feelings across to the one boy she has ever liked, Tanaka-kun. Now in high school, she is determined to be as unladylike as possible so that her friends won't be jealous of her. While living her life this way contentedly, she meets Tanaka-kun again, but he now goes under the name of Mabuchiko. He tells her that he felt the same way as she did when they were younger, but now things can never be the same again. Will Fu be able to continue her love that never even started from 3 years ago? Yeah. I don't know why I gave it a thumbs up.
Yeah!
Because it's
Approved
precious.
by Erika.
That is
Erika
some
approved.
high quality
Yes.
summary reading. Yeah, you did good, girl. All right.
Better than the last times.
Well, I think the last
Okay.
time we were all trying not to break into tears the last time you were here.
Yeah, that's true.
That was pretty. That
We're
was
like,
really
Piano and the feelings and the girl and the
That was really sad.
yeah.
All right, shall we give our spoiler-free recommendations?
Yeah, let's do it.
Anybody want to
I'll go
Okay.
first.
Okay, go.
I super recommend this manga. Whether you watch the anime or not, I think it was just, it's very beautiful, first off, but it's also written in a way where it's equally about romance as it is about friendship. And I think that's kind of rare. A lot of times one is kind of sacrificed for the other in a story, but I think that this one, it really touches on both. And if you are like me, and a lot of times when you read shoujo manga, you're like, why won't they just do this? That would make everything so much easier. You'll like this one. Because a lot of times in those moments, they wind up actually being honest with themselves and being like, I need to do this. And for the most part, they just do it. And you're so proud of them. And you're like, yes, grow up and be amazing adults and live your life and high school and feelings. And it's adorable. You should totally read it.
I agree. I concur. I regurgitate everything that she just said because I think this is one of, we haven't read, in comparison to like the number of action and mature manga that we have read on MangaPod, we haven't read that many shoujo or that many romance really. But I think even having said that, it's not just one of my favorite shoujos that we read, it's one of my favorite manga that we have read on MangaPod. And just because it's very entertaining, it has all of those tropes that you expect from a shoujo, but it does them really well, and it has really interestingly crafted characters that definitely develop even in the short amount of time that we read. And there's communication. That's the big thing. Communication happens, and it's very good.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. And the art is pretty. The art is gorgeous, and it's got really good pacing. And I think it just, for everything that it was set out to do, it did it really well. And I think that it excelled at it and is a very good manga that if you're a fan of romance, you should definitely read. And not just dismiss as being another shoujo. It's very, very good. It's one of the best romance I think I've read in the last, 5 years, probably.
Yeah, well, it's a hell of a lot less annoying than most shoujo, I feel, because it actually deals with realistic emotions. Like, I feel like there were several times where I was able to relate to both Ku and Fu. I felt it felt so great to be able to relate on both sides, and I liked how it dealt with those just real emotions in general, whether or not they were being strong or they were weak, right? I really enjoyed it. I found it to be really refreshing. I like more realistic shoujo. Like, I really like Nana as well, or like Paradise Kiss and stuff like that too. So, I mean, I'm always looking for something a bit more on the grounded side when I'm going for shoujo compared to when I was way younger and I was looking for the most fantastical shit ever. So I don't really want that anymore. I feel more interested in delving in actual human psychology, actually something more realistic that I can relate to and grasp and enjoy that much more. Yeah, so I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for something like that, if you're looking for something you can actually genuinely relate to.
Yeah.
All right, I'm the outlier. Here's the thing. It's really good, but I was not in the right frame of mind because, all right, I spent my Valentine's Day reading this, being a single person, which was not an enjoyable experience at all. So I appreciate it for what it is. I love the anime, and I think I like the anime more than the manga, but the manga is still pretty damn good. So I highly recommend it.
Awesome. See, it's a good recommendation too. Yes, so
I was miserable.
That's what I was expecting you to say. The first I was miserable.
I was. But yeah, I have to keep it real. Keep it honest.
Keep it honest. Aww. Okay, well, that is it for our spoiler-free recommendations. We all think that you should go and check it out, and we do recommend it. So, if you do not want to be spoiled from here on out, then you should take your leave now and come back and watch the VOD of this right here on my channel, like I already said earlier. Once again, do not spoil anything past chapter 15, which actually, I saw somebody in the chat asking, it encompasses, sorry, all of you were, like, very still, and I thought you froze. I was like, oh no. But what we read encompasses all of the anime, and then, like, we had, like, one extra chapter difference. So, just so you know, there you go. Okay, count it down, please.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, ow.
Go as God. Go as God.
Go as God.
God. Futuba. Futuba. Futuba?
Footy pajamas.
This is actually a show about anthropomorphized musical instruments. So if that's not what you came here for,
Sorry.
wrong MangaPod.
Don't know what you were thinking about. So let's do the question. This might be I'm just gonna ask anyway. The question that we usually start with is, what were you expecting before you started reading the manga? Did anybody have any expectations for it?
I wanna go first.
Hit it.
All right. The way I described the anime was an incredibly well done conventional shoujo anime, and I could say the same thing applies for the manga, and that's what I expected. I expected it to be as good as the anime because of how good production IG is with their adaptations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I expected it to be a really well done manga, and I would say it delivered. I mean, it met my expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Again, even though I was miserable the entire time.
Aww.
Yeah, I would say that I expected there to be more differences than there were. There really weren't any differences, which is good for an anime adaptation. I felt like it pretty much was exactly the same, except, you know, we got to see all of the super sparkly manga pages, and I was totally into that. I loved, you know, there are certain things about manga that I really love, like the use of screen tones and things like that is something that doesn't translate over into anime in the same way. Obviously, they can do the same sort of like shoujo bubbles and flowers and sparkles and whatever, but it's different when it's screen tones, and it's different in manga. And I think both are equally beautiful for sure. Mm-hmm. Like the artwork is gorgeous in this manga. So
they did a really good job of taking over the art style from the manga to the anime.
Yeah, it wasn't just the story. It was also like the look of it was pretty much identical, which kind of blew my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just really, really impressed with it. I thought it looked really beautiful, and the color palette and everything felt right too. It was just really nice all around. In terms of, because I was reading the manga before I watched the anime, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I really wanted to think that it would be realistic, but I always have my reservations with shoujos. I'm always skeptical. I'm always like, okay, please don't throw anything stupid at me. Please, please, please. And they didn't. And it was so good, and it was so fulfilling because of that. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I agree. I'd had a lot of people, Miana has told me numerous times that I need to go and read the manga. Like, she is obsessed with the manga. She's told me numerous times. Like, quite a few people have said, if you like the anime, you need to go and read the manga. But I didn't expect, like, I loved the anime a lot, but I did not expect to get into the manga and just be like, I need to keep reading this story. I love these characters so much. Like, I loved them in the anime, and I loved them just as much in the manga. And I thought that the manga, like, it was really nice because the anime did translate the manga really well. Like, same with you, I expected there to be way more differences, and there really weren't. But I did really like everything about the manga, too. The only thing that as I was reading the manga, I was like, man, I like the anime more, is the soundtrack for the anime.
The soundtrack is so good in the anime. Yeah, but you could
really
hear it.
But you could hear. I listened to the soundtrack while I was reading it, and also that insert song that they have by Chelsea. I have listened to that so many times the last 2 days, just because I love that song so much, and the OP. And so that's the only thing. But I could hear it when I was reading it anyway, even when I was listening to it. So that's the only thing I can think of that when I was reading the manga. I was like, oh man, the anime had this, but the mangas usually don't come with soundtracks, so it's pretty typical.
It did feel like the manga went faster.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is. Not in a bad way. It felt like we hit all of the really important points so quick. Because at first when I started reading, I was like, okay, we're not going to reach, the end of the anime for sure.
Yeah.
And then as I started reading, I was like, oh, we might though. We might. And we totally did. So, but I liked that. I liked that every time something would happen, I'd be like, oh man, and then this is going to happen next. And then it did not take long for that next thing to happen. And I think that also gave me that satisfied feeling of every time there was tension between two characters. And I was like, please just talk it out. Please just talk it out. Even though I've seen the anime and I know they're going to talk it out. I was like, please just talk it out. Don't let this drag on for too long. It would take no time at all for them to like talk about at least an aspect of it, right? To like get something out there. And I was just like, oh, this is so satisfying.
Yeah.
It's so, you get so invested, and at the same time, you're not sitting there like a soap opera being like, if people would just be honest with each other, if you would just tell him that you're the baby daddy, right?
Yeah.
So nice.
Tell him that he's the baby daddy.
Just tell him that you're the evil twin, please.
Can I say So y'all know our adventure with my auto posting about live streaming in different languages? Did you guys see what today's posted as? For some reason it replied it at YouTube, but I think I know why. It's because it's in Korean. So I hit Korean this time. If you go to my tweets and replies on my profile, you'll see it. It's in Korean. I'm quite excited because I was waiting to hit the Asians. I was waiting to hit the Asian countries. Hadn't hit there yet. I was all South American for a really long time. Why does this happen to you? I don't know.
Oh my god. Oh wow.
Somebody replied.
Erin's channel's
like, oh hey.
Erin's channel's being haunted by a multilingual ghost.
Yeah, probably. It's like, hey, your tweet came out Korean this time. Yep, yes it did. Oh man. But yeah, no, I agree with the pacing of the manga that every stuff happened very quickly, but it didn't feel disruptive. I didn't feel like, okay, we did not spend nearly enough time on that one thing. It was like, we spent just enough time on that one thing, and I'm excited about the next thing. Oh, the next thing is happening. And so it was just like very quick, but not in an overly disruptive way.
Yeah.
Pacing was real good. I thought that was
real good.
I felt that way from the beginning all the way to the end, like to the final chapter that we read. The way that
it went so fast, like
so quick.
Blasted through all 15 chapters. And at first, when I opened the first chapter, since it said we were only reading 15, I was like, these are going to be real long chapters. And I saw that each chapter is like nearly 60 pages, and I was going, this is going to take a while. It did not. I blasted through that shit. Like, it was so good.
It's just like next page. And it all felt really, to kind of like segue into the characters' relationships and their chemistry, everything felt so natural. Like everything from the friendships and the way that they like meet each other to the final chapter where we see like Yuri confessing. Like that, everything felt incredibly natural. And so that's something that's very hard to come by in shoujo, because everything is, from the start, it's kind of always implied who's going to end up together and just how the plot unfolds, because we've seen it so many times and it always tends to follow the very same formula. And so from the start, you always tend to know who's going to end up together. So even if you root for them, you're like, hey, but they're kind of stale and like there's nothing that fun. But even with Ko and Futaba, you're like rooting for them, but it's still really interesting to see them get to the point like that we want them at.
And I think that's where they spend a lot of time on romance, but they also spend a lot of time on friendship thing comes in, is that it's not always about like whether or not they're going to get together. It's about all of these other things that are going on in their lives and whether or not they can work through that stuff in order to create like lasting friendships and, you know, enjoy their lives and forgive each other and like all of these things.
Yeah.
One thing that I did like is that the last chapter, the sinking of the Ko-Yuri ship. That's something that I was not expecting to happen so soon.
Same.
Like I was expecting that to get drug out and for more conflict to develop between Futaba and Yuri, but nope, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I'm happy, yeah, because I really like the two and I like their friendship. I didn't want something to get, like totally ruined because of that, It's like you're kind of rooting for their friendship, but it's like, I don't know, it is really interesting in that you're rooting for the relationship, but you're rooting for the friendship at the same time too. Even when they conflict, it was really interesting. It took a very unconventional approach, I think, to a lot of what we expect from shoujo in particular. So I mean, it was really nice.
I feel like that shows a lot of confidence on the part of the writer when they can say, I'm fully comfortable like letting this go as long as it needs to before it needs to, hit that point. And then I know that I can continue writing this and have it continue to be like a beautiful story and I can complete everything that I need to complete. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of times people drag it out when they don't know what else to do with the story. So I'm excited to read the rest of it because I'm like, what else is gonna happen? It's like
am I the only person that ships Dick Touch Guy and Yuri?
Dick Touch Guy. Oh my god.
Dick Touch Guy. I remember him in the anime, and I remember when I was watching the anime, I was like, they spent a decent enough amount of time on that guy where I was like, is he gonna be a character? Does he matter? And then reading the manga, I was like, oh shit. He becomes like this weird jealousy catalyst that like cracked me up. He was like, hey, remember how you accidentally touched my dick? Let's forget about that forever. I was like,
he's so cute.
I know, this poor guy.
He's just, I like that at first he's like, he's just like, I kind of feel bad for her. Yeah. That she's so embarrassed.
A little bit.
Yeah, I thought that was cute.
Yeah. Oh gosh, what was I gonna say? Yeah, no, the whole part about, because usually when we have a rival for love introduced in a shoujo, the personality of the rival tends to not have a similar, doesn't have the same personality that Yuri does. Like, Yuri has a very interesting personality to be the rival character. And I think that makes her very refreshing because it makes her friendship with Futaba just feel that much more realistic just because of how just great of character she is, too. Every single one of the characters has been introduced and has just been really interesting, even though you're like, oh, I kind of understand this character, but they give nice little spin on the personality and then just make them really fun and lovable. I think I love every single character that has been introduced so far.
My favorite character is probably one that didn't get a lot of time, and it was Murao. I really like her. More than
Murao. Yeah, I really like her.
I like her more in the manga than the anime though, because in the manga she's drawn to, I don't know, for me, like I look at her design, I'm like, she has two-tone hair, and I really like two-tone hair. So bonus points for that. And no, like in the anime she doesn't, so fuck the anime.
Fuck that anime.
I liked that we also got the bonus story with her. Yeah. We didn't get that in the anime. I liked that we got the whole story of her meeting him. Yeah. And being like, whatever, he's not cute at all. And then turning in the paper being like, my ambition is to be your wife. And he's just like, being, like, so hardcore. It was so funny to me.
Yeah, like even
she's such a stone cold character, but she's just like, yo, you want to make babies? And he's like, excuse me?
Like, yo, I want to have your mole. Your mole really got me.
Yeah, specifically that eyelid mole.
Don't show your eyelid mole to anybody else.
The look on her face when she saw it too, she's like, oh my god. Like, can I like lick it or something?
Too lewd for me.
Too
lewd. Too lewd for me.
Too lewd.
Lewd doesn't like the lewd.
Oh, I fucking love the lewd. What are you talking about? Just in moderation.
Good. I'm glad we established that.
As long as it's not eyelids, guys.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, come on. Standards. MangaPod, we have standards.
MangaPod, we have standards. Family friendly as fuck.
Family friendly as fuck. MangaPod. But no, I do really like her character because, sorry, I'm eating dark chocolate covered ginger. And anybody who's eaten ginger knows that sometimes it leaves little strings behind, and so it just you just pop. I'm glad I shared that with everybody. But
It's okay, I told everybody about Gatorade earlier. So
that's true. You did introduce yourself as a Gatorade spokeswoman.
Yeah. Excuse me, would you like to learn more about Gatorade? Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Duxbonus, DEXBONUS. I only tweet about Gatorade.
You should change your just for tonight. You should just change your info to I'm a YouTuber with a Gatorade problem.
I'm doing it right now.
Oh yes,
yeah,
that's great.
But no, I really liked her character because it's the same thing where she's introduced as just the stoic, no feelings, just going about her own thing, doesn't want to be involved with anybody, but she has little just little inserts of personality that we get to see that she's a lot warmer than she first comes off. It's just she's a very introverted person and she's not super outgoing and just one of those people that you need to get to know for her to really come out of her shell. And so I really like seeing how all of the characters really have different dimensions to them, but each one feels like it makes sense for that character to have that side to them. It doesn't feel oh, this character acted this way in this panel, and then a few pages later, they're acting totally different just for the sake of the story. Just for the sake of moving the story along, the character acts totally different. And so it's really nice to see the characters behave consistently as we learn more about them too. And something that I feel really bad, every single time we read a shoujo, I think back to Imadoki, which if you've been with MangaPod for a very long time, Imadoki was the third manga that we read, something like that. It was very early on. And it was a very stereotypical shoujo to
it was real boring.
The max. It was boring. It was manipulating mental illness to push characters' drama, soap opera. What did you call the one dude? There was dick face, flower boy. There's flowers everywhere. I don't remember.
Yeah. Oh god, I don't even
It wasn't
remember,
that good.
Everybody had really good nicknames.
And so as I was reading Ao Haru Ride, I was like, man, this is what a good shoujo is. When I was reading Imadoki, I was like, yeah, it's okay, but just this just blows all of those issues I had with Imadoki out of the water. So which Imadoki had that issue of the characters being I don't love you, I do love you, I don't love you, I do love you. Where something that is nice about Ao Haru Ride is that you learn pretty early on that they like each other, and they establish, I was talking about communication earlier, they talk to each other in that, hey, I used to like you, I did love you, but I don't anymore because I don't, that's all in the past now. And you see that, it's just so realistic. It's not realistic to be no, I still love you even though I haven't seen you in 3 years or seen your personality change and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't come at it from that angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty typical though of Yu's work, Yu Watase, who did Imadoki, actually. Yeah. I used to read all of her stuff.
I super loved
Fushigi Yugi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I loved Fushigi Yugi when I was younger.
Oh
girl.
Oh girl.
And Cirrus as well. I read that manga to bits. But now I look back and I'm I have a special connection with it just because I'm familiar with the characters, but I can't enjoy it the same way anymore. It's just not my thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
But no, I really the romance in it. Let's talk about Ko and Futaba's relationship. Just get on track. Let's talk about how do you feel about the start of what we saw at the beginning of their relationship and how it's ended so far? Of what we read, how do you feel about it?
I just like tsunderes, so fuck Ko in the beginning, but Ko towards the end of what we read is okay. But yeah, I hated the guy at the beginning.
Yeah.
He's a dick.
Yeah, Ko was a total dick in the beginning, and there were certain things where I'm just why would you say that? Why would you say those things? They're just I don't know. There was just certain points where I just could not connect with him at all. But as he opened up and as he talks about, like his mother's death and everything, it's just like, okay, you start to understand, and it's like you're peeling an onion a little bit because you don't like him at first.
Yeah.
And then, well, when you peel an onion, I guess you don't really like it the whole time.
Because you're crying. Ko is an onion. Ko is an onion.
Ko is an onion. He's the worst.
That's a really horrible analogy because he does get better. Maybe there's like chocolate in the middle. I don't know. But it gets better.
Ko is an onion-covered chocolate.
He's a fondant-covered cake. Where you're like, he looks really nice, but if you try to eat the fondant, you're gonna be like, no, that's gross. But if you peel all the fondant off, then you're like, oh, there's actually delicious cake inside.
Yeah.
This wasn't very well thought out, guys.
Good analogies.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, as you start to understand why he is the way he is, I think that you can start to I guess maybe give him sort of like a benefit of the doubt and start to realize, okay, so he has all these defenses up. He doesn't want to let people in. He doesn't want to be hurt by people. And that's very common, that fear of intimacy, that fear of like any sort of connection, right? So I can kind of understand why he'd want to push people away and be a dick, right? Not because he really wants to be. And I like that. I kind of thought that sometimes Fu was a little creepy, the way she would just follow him around.
A little pushy. She was a little pushy.
She legit called it stalking.
Yeah, she was legit was like, I stalked him yesterday.
I know, right?
Yeah, and everybody was like, what? Like, oh, don't worry about it. Let me finish my story.
But I remember when I was in high school, there used to be this boy that I really liked, and I would follow, because, like, no, I sound like a stalker.
Go on.
So he rode the same bus as me, and sometimes, like I would get off at the same stop as him, because he lived really close to where I lived, and I would just get off, because he always got off earlier. I don't know why. I think he just wanted to walk alone. But I decided that I would just start walking with him. So I would walk, like I walked behind him for a long time before I had the guts to actually talk to him. And then we did, and then we had a little connection. And then I asked him out to the dance, and then he said no, and then I stopped following him. But then the day that I didn't get off the bus with him, he stopped, and it's like he was actually waiting for me, and he was really sad. He was really sad.
Shoujo manga.
Erika's
Like,
I was gonna say, Erika, your life is actually just a shoujo manga.
That was so fun.
Oh. He was so sad though, and then we never spoke again. It was I can't believe I've never told anybody this before.
You might as well tell hundreds of people on the internet at once.
I guess.
It's a MangaPod exclusive.
Yeah, it is a MangaPod exclusive, I guess. Yeah. So I can kind of relate with you in that way, but yeah, it is a little weird when you think about it.
But back to who Ko is as a person.
Oh my god, that was
It wasn't until around the time that his backstory was starting to creep up that I really started to appreciate the dick that he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And started to understand and started to give him a little bit of a pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that backstory was not kind to the feels.
I did like that there were moments where Futaba would be like, oh, do I like Ko? Do I like Ko? And she did have those moments of clarity where she was like, there is a high possibility that I'm feeling this way because he did something really nice for me. But that doesn't mean that he's always a nice person. Like, I need to realize that. And I loved those moments when we would see like what she was thinking about and what was going through her mind. And she thought things that are very realistic. Like, you know, I might be letting myself get manipulated because I'm a lonely person. Let's be honest. He's being really nice to me. That doesn't mean that he's like somebody that I should aspire to be with a lot, you know? And there are those moments where you're like, true. Like, I'm glad that you're not glorifying this super like bitchy character who's being a super dick to you most of the time. Like, I really appreciated that. And I also really loved the moments when she would be, you know, trying to be there for him or trying to comfort him, and you would see her mind wander. in certain ways that also felt really realistic to me.
Yeah.
Or like even in those moments when you're trying to be a good friend or you're trying to like help somebody through things, there are moments where like to be frank, there are moments when your mind winds up wandering and you think about other things.
Yeah.
And I liked that we had those moments where she was trying to be like a really good supportive friend to him, but she would find herself thinking about romantic things, then being like, no, this is not the time. Like, this is not the time to be thinking about that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Like when she really wanted to see him cry.
Yeah.
I would say that was probably the best example of that.
Yeah.
Of her mind just going to places it shouldn't go for that moment, but whatever, it works.
Yeah. And I also like that she wasn't a stuttering, blushing mess constantly. Like, she was able to interact with him, which is something that's really nice to see because she has so much personality alone. Like, with anybody, she just has so much personality, whether that's the personality she's trying to be when she's trying to show the girls that she's not feminine, or the personality she has when she was Ko or with Yuri. Like, she's just so enigmatic and just crazy great. And so seeing her get flustered is really refreshing, but at the same time she's still able to get her thoughts across, and like it's able to create progress. Like the point where she goes to pick him up for the school trip and he walks out and he's shirtless, and she's like, oh no, I'm not here for that, or something like, like she freaks out and he's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, exactly. She doesn't just become this like huge stuttering mess, and it makes for really genuine comedy. And so it's nice to see her being able to like actually communicate, because we always get those protagonists in shoujo that are just very timid and just don't know what to do and never really talk or anything like that.
And in that way, we also get to explore that whole idea that they talk about a lot in the manga of projecting something and feeling totally different about who you actually are, like not seeing yourself very clearly, And I like that for her, when she looks at herself, she's like, oh, I'm lonely and insecure and awkward and weird. But we as readers, and you also get the feeling that like all of her friends as well, like we wind up loving her because she has this like kind of abrasive, excited personality that's also really honest. And I don't know, I just love that. I love that those two things don't quite match up, because that's also reality, right?
Yeah,
that she's like, oh, I'm so weird and awkward, and oh, is it so hard for me to make friends? And I'm like, what are you talking about? You're adorable, which is like something that a friend would say, Like I feel like I'm becoming her friend and being like, you can do this.
And like she's finding herself. Like, it's just as much like a coming of age story for all of them as it is like a romance, which is really good to see in like a high school romance manga, where it's like it's not just about the love, it's not just about the friendships, it's about them and about them finding themselves and understanding who they should be with, and like, oh, thank you. Like, in terms of, because I think a lot of people, especially in that transition from middle school to high school, when you're trying to find that group of friends, like people go through a lot of different sets of friends, because there's the ones that you want to be friends with because you think it'll increase your popularity, or like they're the cool kids, or the ones that actually accept you, until you get to that part where you get to the people that actually accept you for who you are. And so I liked that they dealt with that very early on as well, but they didn't drag it out. They didn't drag out the drama of it. Like with those two girls who Futaba was friends with at the start of high school. And so.
Yeah.
What? Go ahead, Dodger. It's okay.
Oh. All I was going to say was I just like that no conflicts were dragged out for very long.
Yeah.
Like a conflict made its course, it had its end, and then whatever happened, and then we were able to move on, and I appreciated that.
Yeah.
One character that we haven't talked about at all was Kominato.
Oh yeah, the friend,
the really funny and nice friend.
The other guy in the group. The other guy in their group.
Oh, the guy who like really wants to touch Murao's butt.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah,
Yes.
that dude.
Now, which of those relationships are you pulling for?
Oh my
Are you
God,
pulling
all of
for
them.
like the borderline pedophilic one, or
I
are
don't
you
know
pulling?
why they can't OT3.
Right? That's how I feel.
No, why
I
can't
want
they
all of the
stop?
OT3 to happen with them.
I'm just like, oh God, you poor babies.
I know. Like,
I don't want either of them to get hurt.
I want all of them to be happy. I want everybody in this manga to be happy. That is all I want.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to the really good writing, and that you care about not only every single character, but you care about all of their relationships. And you want all of them to work out, even though realistically you're like, just not all of them are going to work out. But they're still really fun and really nice to see happen. Even with the love triangle there, it doesn't feel just like, oh, good, more drama. It feels like these are these characters' lives, and this is what they're going through, and these are their relationships.
Yeah, you know what? I would be really impressed to see, actually. I'd be really, especially because of where the manga has taken us so far and how it's challenged us, is to see characters who don't end up with anybody, actually, and be happy. You know, to actually have something like that would be so amazing. Just because, like, you don't often have that. I can't really think of too many good examples of that, because you know, just like in shoujo, everything is very much romanticized, or it's very melodramatic, and it makes it seem like whoever doesn't end up with someone has a miserable life for the rest of their life. And that's really, that drills really horrible ideas into people's minds, especially if they're younger. I think that we need like shoujo manga that can encourage people that it's okay to be alone and you can be happy and, you know, be independent and everything, right? I feel like this one could do that. I feel like this one could really pull something like that off.
Yeah, I think so too, because that is something that, like, a lot of times in romance, it's all about the end game of ending up with somebody.
Yeah.
And I like that this one, if that happened with any of them, it would feel very normal. Like, it wouldn't feel like, I wouldn't feel cheated of anything, I don't think. Because they did establish very on that this is as much about them learning themselves and understanding that what's important is being yourself and learning who you are and being happy with that person.
Yeah.
Can we talk about our favorite moments? Did you see Derp? He's just like...
One of my favorite moments in both the anime and the manga is when he first sees her like crouched outside of the window, and she like starts crying and is like, fuck, I don't know, where do I go, what do I do, and he like pulls her in. I thought that was precious, like all over again. I thought it was precious when I was reading the manga. I'm just like, oh, it's so sweet.
So cute. I had
those little frantic moments where you're like, oh my god.
I mean, my favorite anime manga trope of all time is piggyback ride, and we got one of those, and it was so cute. It was super cute. I think though, I had one, and it was the moment where they're on the school trip and they have to write their apology letters.
And she's
like sniffs his hair, and like they do the little. My favorite part of that is when she turns and then he turns and they just stare at it. In the anime, it was really beautiful, and here it was just as like stopped my heart a little bit because I was like,
when they're both of their eyes meet and they're like, and he's like,
and then they have to like, his head away. It's just so romantic and sweet and pure. Like there's just this sense of innocence and purity to it that's just high school love, that you're like, it is that it doesn't feel like convoluted or dragged down by anything. It was just so sweet and simple, and just a moment that I don't think I've seen that kind of moment really play out like that before. And so I think it was just very refreshing, like just a very different moment that I had seen that was still just so cute and adorable. Though all the hair sniffing needs to stop. All the hair sniffing in this manga.
No,
more
hair sniffing.
One trope with shoujo anime I just never really got was the obsession with the nape of the neck.
Oh yeah.
That's just that being
like
everywhere, all over the first few chapters. It was just like, I know this is normal, but it's not normal to me.
There was another. Oh, I also absolutely love the moment where it was another one of those like Fluster moments when she and Ko are on the riverbank and they slide down the hill. Yeah. And Ko even has that moment where he's like, that fucking terrified me. Like, and so it's always really funny to see him break a little because he is totally just a high school boy. He's just gone through all of this stuff. And then that leads into her telling him the cry hug, and then her telling him that he's allowed to have these emotions, and if anybody makes fun of him or tells him he can't, she'll beat them up. And it's just such a sweet, like, tender moment. And just, I mean, that anime episode alone, like, Ko's backstory made me sob, both in the anime, and even though I knew it was coming here, it made me sob just as hard here. And that moment there, because we see development from Ko there, and also just development in the relationship, and it's just as much of them being, like, friends as they are, like, just cutie patooties.
Yeah.
So many squeal moments. Too many squeal
Too many. Way too many.
Lou, what was your favorite squeal moment?
It was like, fuck.
Finishing it. It was just squealing with absolute joy that I wasn't having to subject myself to it anymore, despite it being really good. Again, it was a miserable experience. Yeah. No, but Ko's backstory, absolutely. That was both adorable and just heart-wrenching, and it was, I don't know, it was just an experience. It was a roller coaster of emotions, just seeing him go from, hey, I get to stay with my mom, and okay, Ni-chan, I'm going to go ahead and take care of her, to, oh my God, she's dying? Yeah. The fuck am I going to do?
And, like, that's a very
realistic... feeling responsible.
Yeah, I was going to say, the responsibility is such a thing that so many kids, like, that age feel when they lose a parent, or, like, they have a parent going through something strong, they feel like, or something rough like that, they feel like they should be there to carry their parent, or, like, I didn't do this enough or this enough. And so I thought they portrayed that very realistically. For sure.
I don't know. It's funny because I was trying to think while you guys were talking of what my favorite scene is, but all of you were kind of delving into little things that I loved so much about it too, and I don't know if I can necessarily like pick one, just because it's one of those things where I got so excited from each and every one of them for different reasons, whether they were like fumbling around, or it was on the more romantic side or more tender side or more revealing side. There was really something you could sort of celebrate about each and every one of them, you know, because you could see the development in the characters through them. I don't know if I can pick one, and I'm like so excited to see more of them, because I'm like, I wonder what's gonna happen now.
I thought of another one.
Yes.
When he comes to dinner and his brother cries at the dinner table.
Oh my God.
So just like, ew!
What got me, like, that was so funny, but what got me about that scene is when the dad goes, dinner tastes really great tonight.
Yeah.
I was like, Papa! So good.
Yeah.
So sweet.
And I just liked that the whole situation really came down to a lack of communication.
Yeah.
And where, like, one of the things that we all loved so much about this story is the amount of communication that there is to, like, build these friendships up even stronger. And I love that in the end, the reason that there was so much tension in that house was because no one was talking to each other. Yeah. I was just like, oh, no, they were eating dinner, and the brother's like, bleh. It was so I can't. I know, it was adorable.
Aww. Oh man, I feel like, okay, one of my favorite, this wasn't just like a squeal moment, this was just one of my favorite moments of the entire manga, is when, we see the struggle with Futaba being like, Yuri likes him, Yuri likes Ko, what do I do? Because I also just realized that I like Ko. How do I handle this? She's gonna hate me, I'm gonna lose a friend. And then they have that moment on the roof of them just bawling to each other, being like, I love you!
And then all of the dudes eating lunch are like, what is going on?
Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Did they like the same guy? I don't remember.
It was.
This right?
I like how Dick Touch guy shows up.
I was gonna say, yeah, Dick Touch guy was there.
He's just, hey, stop looking. It's none of your business.
Yeah, he's like, stop eavesdropping, dummies. But yeah, they're just like, I love you. No, I love you. So good. And they do show that, like, even though Yuri is saying that she's the one that's adamant about them being rivals and not holding it against one another, that she still struggles with it. It's not like she's just a strong person. She's like, I knew that she liked him now. Like, this is so hard because I also love her. And so seeing her break down numerous times too is just reaffirms just what people think of, like, when they're that age and going through crushes and liking people while also liking friends. And it was nice not to have the drama of, like, that bitch likes the guy I like.
Yeah, it wasn't like any Betty and Veronica shit.
Yeah.
You know, where they're like, we're best friends, but when it comes to a boy, I'll cut you. Yeah. You know, you didn't have to deal with any of that. It was like, you know, just people wanting to stay friends and legitimately worrying about ruining friendships with their actions and stuff. It was, really refreshing. It's really nice.
Yeah.
I like how Murao just, like, once she found out, she just came out and basically stated her neutrality. And she also went beyond that and confessed her feelings or told them what her feelings were.
Yeah, I thought that was cute. It was
so
like, all right,
cute.
we've all confessed something. Now we're good.
Yeah. And then, she's just like, just so you know that I will always be a neutral party for you guys. I was like, meow. Meow. So sweet. I love this manga a lot. We are at 50 minutes, so we should wrap up and give our... Oh, we need to talk about art! I mean, I guess we kind of...
Looks good.
Beautiful.
It's good.
It's good.
Quite good.
It's gorgeous.
Bonus points for Murao looking like she has multicolor hair.
I was gonna say something I love about it is how different all of the character designs are, including not just their faces but their body types. From, like, the hair to even the men, like, even the guys that we've seen have different body types. And so that's really nice detail into it. And they all look really good. Even, like, backgrounds look great. Like, characters in the backgrounds look nice. The character designs are consistent. The eyes are gorgeous. And, like, the mangaka's ability to do expressions is amazing. And also the way she uses panels is really well done, too. It's not just, like, 5 panels or 4 panels. It's a lot of, like, very interesting way of displaying different characters' expressions within the panels, and the pacing of those I really liked too. I thought the art was really, really great, really good. Sweet, there, art.
I think we all think
it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
All right, let's wrap up and give our final thoughts and ratings. Would anybody like to go first?
I'll go last.
Okay.
I'm calling that.
I can go first. I'm going to give it an 8.5 because I thought that it was a very strong story. I thought that it was entertaining and funny and well written, like, both in terms of, like, the pacing, the characters' relationships, their personalities, their dialogue. Everything didn't feel melodramatic or overdramatic. Drama was paced great and, like, paid off quickly while also not feeling cheapened. And it was just so cute and refreshing and just a very fun and, like, sweet read. It was a very nice, pleasant read, and I loved it, and, like, I couldn't stop reading it. I'm chapter 32, I think, now. So it's one of my favorite manga that we've read for MangaPod, and I think once I'm done with it, I'm pretty sure it's going to be one of my favorite manga of all time. It's just a great love story and just a solid story in general, both about the characters' loves and also them finding themselves and learning who they are. So it's a great coming-of-age story as well. So I love it. So I'm going to give it an 8.5, and I'm excited for us to read the rest of it so I can give it a higher rating probably.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a 9. That's what I really want to give it because, because again, like I've said this before, shoujo manga and I do not always sync up very well. Yeah. There are normally tropes that really rub me the wrong way. There are normally characters that are written that feel like they're written to purposefully, like, make things more difficult and make the story more difficult. And no one in this story feels that way. It just feels like a story about kids who are growing up and figuring out their feelings and how to create these really strong friendships. And aside from the fact that it's just gorgeous, I think it's really, really well written. So I'm excited to read more too.
I'm gonna have to give it a 9 as well. Actually, I was thinking the same. Where it's just, I grew up with a lot of shoujo, and while I enjoyed it at the time, I realized what unrealistic expectations it gave me growing up. And I think it's really awesome that we have manga like this, series like this, where it can actually give you something a lot more relatable, and it can make you feel a lot better about yourself too, and a lot better about, all those crazy feelings that race through your mind when all this sort of stuff happens, but still keeps you grounded in the sense that your whole life, like this relationship, this love isn't your whole life. Like there's so much more, right? And there's friendship, and there's all these things, and just being genuine and being humble and being gracious, even when you're not always as gracious as you want to be. I think it was really, really well portrayed, and I'm just like that much more excited to read more of it. And yeah, I mean, just like you said, Erin, I really like the use of the panels. I found it really interesting. And I felt like it offered a really interesting way of showing time passing. And it was just pretty. It was just pretty. And it doesn't even have to do that much with the character design in order to convey that, which is, you got to have a lot of talent to do that, I feel, to be able to offer so much with so little. So yeah, I wholeheartedly give this a 9 out of 10, honestly. And I mean, we've only gone so far in it now. So I mean, like, I can't wait. I can't wait to read more.
Can I up my rating to a 9 too? That's kind of what I wanted to give it at the start, and then I was like, maybe I should be more conservative, but fuck that, 9. I'm gonna do it.
Fuck it, 9s. Lou.
Okay. I've pretty much been vocal the entire time of how miserable and just not good of an experience reading this was for me.
Yeah.
Beyond that, because of objectivity, or me looking at this objectively, I can say with confidence that it's just really well put together, both story and artistically. And honestly, I feel like giving it anything less than a 9 would be doing it a disservice. So I'm giving it a 9. Even though I was miserable the entire time through, it was just great. And I know that if I was in any other place right now in my personal life, I would have enjoyed this a lot more. But I loved what I read, despite the fact that I hated what I read.
Lou is very conflicted, but knows what he means.
Yes.
Yeah. Woot! All 9s.
All
That's
9s.
Everybody, which means if you have not gone and read Ao Haru Ride, you need to go and do so immediately, because it will give you all of the feels all over the place. The funny feels, the happy feels, the sad feels, all the feels right over there. So, let's go ahead and read the summary for the manga that we are reading next week. And chat, you get to guess it. And chat, you should be incredibly excited because, oh gosh, you guys, you're just going to vomit everywhere from excitement. You're going to be so excited. I know you are. Okay. Do you all know? Do you know?
I don't know. So I'm excited to guess.
Blank are a special breed dedicated to tracking down treasures, magical beasts, and even other men. But such pursuits require a blank, and less than 1 in 100,000 can pass the grueling qualification exam. Those who do pass gain access to restricted areas, amazing stores of information, and the right to call themselves blanks. No, everybody should be vomiting in chat because they keep getting pissed that we haven't read this more.
Yeah. Guys, you got this.
You got this. I blanked, but you can get it. You can fill in my blanks pretty easily. So.
Let me put this in perspective, chat. I started reading to catch up with where MangaPod was, because this is something that we've read before.
Yes.
And I finished it in one sitting. I was like 40-something chapters behind in one sitting, so.
Yes.
And it's been guessed Joel Animaniac X.
Oh yeah, Animaniac got it. Sicko got it.
job,
Anime Opinions Random got it. Is it a yaoi? No, pop art, but I mean basically.
It might as well be.
It might as well be.
Hisoka makes it.
It is also known as Hisoka Booty.
Yeah.
Hisoka Booty.
the Hisoka butt manga.
The Hisoka butt manga. Yes, we are reading Hunter x Hunter next week. We're reading volumes 6 through 9, chapters 45 through 83. We do not have a guest joining us for that one, but it should still be all of the fun because Hunter x Hunter is amazing and great and all of that fun stuff. So, let's go ahead and shout out our stuff super fast and then we will say goodbye. I am Erin of HappiLeeErin. You are here on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/didn't mean to hit the mic, youtube.com/HappiLeeErin. I do anime first impressions and anime reviews and mental health awareness videos. I actually have a review of Hunter x Hunter coming out soon, and I'm super excited to get it up. Just haven't been able to finish it yet. But yes, I'll be having that come up soon. And if you want to find me on any other social media site, I'm HappiLeeErin all across the everything. And also, if you would like to find any of the other previous manga pods, they're also here on my channel, youtube.com/HappiLeeErin. So there you go.
Yay. Hi, I'm Dodger. I have 2 YouTube channels, youtube.com/pressheart to continue, where I do mostly gaming stuff, and youtube.com/dexterity-bonus, which is actually like kind of on a break right now. There's no coffee times going up for a little bit, but there might be other stuff going there. So if you want to check it out, feel free. And on all the social medias, I'm at dexbonus, DEXBONUS.
What's up, ladies and gents? My name is Lou, and I'm from Sitting by the Window Anime Reviews. I do basically, just anime stuff, not animated stuff, although I do talk about animated things. So I do that. You can find me on YouTube at SBTW Anime Reviews and on Twitter at SBTW Anime Review. No S at the end. I always get those confused. That's why there are links in the description. Thank you, Erin, for providing those.
You are so welcome.
And I'm ErikaSzabo. I have a YouTube channel that is called ErikaSzabo, ErikaSzabo. I cover gaming and anime there. I'm currently doing a Satoshi Kon review series, and tomorrow I'm releasing my review for Paranoia Agent. So I'm very excited for that because it is a very good series. I also have an alternate channel, Sharp Objects, where I cover horror films, sci-fi, independent stuff, and tokusatsu. So that's also really fun to do. It's a little bit on the back burner right now, but it will come back. Aside from that, I'm on Twitter at ErikaSzabo, and then I also have a Facebook fan page at ErikaTSzabo. So yeah.
Yay! Awesome! Yeah! Yay! Awesome. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, Erika, for joining. We are so happy to have you. You were fantastic as usual, and we can't wait for you to come back again. You're one of our most returning guests, which is amazing. It makes us so happy. Yeah. So thank you so much for coming on and talking Ao Haru Ride with us. Thank you, everybody in chat, for watching, and everybody who's watching the VOD of this. Thank you for watching up until the end. We love you and really appreciate it. We will be back same time. Yep. We will be back same time, same place next week reading hang on, I forgot the okay. We'll be here. Yeah. No, I forgot the chapter amount. I didn't put in the name.
How did you forget?
Erin, how did you do that? Erin. No, Erin, why? But we'll be here same time, same place, Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, reading Hunter x Hunter, volume 6 through 9, chapters 45 through 83. Yay! Yay! Okay, bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye. Yay! Bye.
I'm gonna miss Dick Touch Guy.